Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Reliant Regal 325 Super Restoration. So, first things first, we're in a different place. As you'll notice, the Mark V is actually behind me. Or, to the right of me. Behind me is actually the Kitten's engine, which is waiting on the cylinder head to come back. There's not much else to say about that. And you may be wondering, in the last video, when you seen this, it was actually sitting over there. And the BN2 was here. Well, the BN2 is now into another storage area, undercover, and that meant I could get my beloved 330 Regal inside. So I've taken it inside and put it where the chassis for the 325 Super was, and I've taken it over here so I can get the rest of the rebuild done. So there's a few little things happened since the last time I was on. Namely being, the cylinder heads came back. Now it's not bolted on, we're wait to do that in a second. What I've done is, so that I don't have to reference the video all every 5-10 minutes, I've put all the bolts on and everything in the way it should be. But the funny bit of that was, I went to reference it and I totally forgot about referencing it and put it together as it should have been. That made me realise how much times I must have done this job now. But anyway, so we've got that we're going to do in a minute. The rear shockers have been given a coat of paint and are also fitted now. I've got the prop shaft still to fit, which I'm thinking I'm going to give it a coat of paint as well, just to clean it up. I mean, it looks nice, better painted black or something. So I'll have to do that. Also, the clutch mechanism is now fitted, which is just off camera, so you won't just quite see it. But it's on. I haven't been able to test it because obviously without the prop shaft, drive shaft, you can't actually check if it's freewheeling. But it should be disengaging the clutch, and it feels good, a feel to it, so I'm guessing it's working fine. But anyway, on to today's job, and I've been really looking forward to this. Putting the cylinder head back on. So, I should have did this before I put my gloves on. I'm not going to take them off now. They are not massively dirty, but right in front of me, it will be a bit far away from you, but I've got a Reliant workshop manual for the Regals here and the Super Vans. And this is a genuine Reliant manual, and in this manual it tells you how to torque the cylinder head down, because there's a pattern to these that you have to follow. Now, before we worry about the pattern, I'm going to nip up all the bolts so that they're against the block, ready to go. Because at the moment they're fully extended and just sitting wondering what's happening. So we're just going to spin them up like this, just to hit the cylinder head. So that takes the slack out of them, so we're not spinning the torque wrench for ages. And this just make sure it's all tight. The other thing I should mention is there is still a what do you call it to go on this? I'm just debating whether I've put that on. No, I have done it the right way. I was thinking I put that in the wrong place, but no, the carb does go, the throttle assembly does go there for the carb, because it sits in the middle. Yes, it wouldn't be this one. It's just when I seen the height of that stud, it looked taller than all the rest. I'm going, have I messed up here? Well, I don't think I have. Right, get off of that. Typical. It's, oh, that's some bolts over there. Right, there's that one off, there's that one off, and that's just going to have to be nipped up a bit more. Typical. This is one slightly stubborn. Because of the angle of it, you can't get the blooming thing just right into it. So this one's going to be a bundle of joy to torque up. But we'll manage it. So that's that one in place. I've probably put a black mark on my face now, so I've just itched my nose with my black glove, or my dirty coloured glove. Which is a bit of a nuisance, because oil tends to stick to your face when you're working with this older stuff. So that's that one. Now I'm not doing these in any pattern, I'm just going round the head, tightening them all down. Well, when I say tightening them, they're not really being tightened, it's just nipping them up. just so that when I come to torque them, I don't, like I say, have to spin the torque wrench for ages. Because it's easier doing this with this wrench than it is the torque one. Right, now that's done, you can get rid of the normal 3/4 inch ratchet. 3/4 inch? No, 1/4 inch ratchet, sorry. And get the torque wrench, which is set, a torque setting for these is Newton meters, which I've got out the Haynes book, which is on the Regal just now. It wasn't that, it's just a Haynes book, but yeah. I'm going to just bring his back in a second because my phone's saying low battery, so I'll just bring his back once I plug the phone in. Right, panic averted, I've got it on charge now. So, we've got the torque wrench here, and this time I do have to follow the instructions on the drawing. So on this drawing, I've got the plan the same way as the cylinder head's sitting, and it tells me the first one I'm supposed to torque up is number 1, which is here, right in the centre of the valves. So that's 1. Number 2 is right at the centre corner. Oh, that's a relief. I've overhauled that one before in the past on the Trotter's van, I think it was, and that was a nightmare. It stripped the threads out the block, and that was yeah, didn't like that. Right, so that's number 2. Number 3 is over here. Oh, oops, gear sticking away. Number 4 will be the opposite side, so it's in the middle. Yeah, just listening for that click, that's when you know it's at the right torque. Number 5 is this back corner next to me. Number 6, I just seen it. It's in the middle here. Number 7 will be the opposite, back to this corner. Number 8 is this side. Number 9 is in the middle again. Number 10 we've got back to the manifold side. Number 11, oh, it's that one. There's a certain time that I just kind of go, oh no, why did it have to be that one? We'll try it this way. What I might do is something that I don't like doing, which is slightly alter something to make my job easier. Right, it's on. That's that one, right. Now get out of there. Right, there we go. Now number 12. This one I'm hoping doesn't strip, because it was slightly loose. Oh no, wait, no, that was number 1 that was loose. So, right, number 12 should be okay. There we go. Right, what I tend to do is I do this a few times just to make sure it's all torqued down right. Because what you'll find is when you tighten up them, they do tend to slacken at the same time. Because obviously the one you started at, which would have been the tightest, then becomes slightly not tight. And you just follow the same pattern this time again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, awkward one, 11, 12. Try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we'll go again because there's still some movement the last time, and I want this movement to be gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Yeah, there's 2 again. Yeah, it was right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, once more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm happy enough with that. That's clicked in every one. So it should be torqued down. Only thing I might have to adjust is, obviously I've moved some of these bits, but we'll sort that out when we get to that point at the carburetor fin-up stage. Now the one thing I haven't done here is there's 3 nuts down here. Now my torque wrench won't fit onto those, and I've never actually torqued any of these kind of style of ones down. I did it roughly by guess, which was when I did it the first time, I set the torque gauge to the setting, had a feel for it in the vise, or in the bench vise, and then used that to gauge how tight it had to be. These are right funny sized bolts. I think these are Whitworth, because they're not anywhere like the size of that 1/2 inch that it should be. I'm going to double check. I've got the Whitworth spanners kit in of here, which it always stays in that car because it's the only one that I had or have that has Whitworth bolts in it. So I'll have a quick look. I'll just be off camera a little minute. I think this is the closest one. 1/4 inch. That's exactly what it is. So this has got Whitworth bolts inside it for some reason. Why, I don't know, but it has. So we'll tighten up these. They're just little bolts at the side of it. Have a little nuts even. So 1/4 inch Whitworth for some reason. Normally they're 1/2 inch fitted bolts. So I think that makes them 1/2 inch bolts. Usually are 5/16. And they'll be usually 5/16 UNF. Just get this to fit on here again. There we go. Another box empty. It's always a good sign. So I'll just tighten this down. Now I haven't tightened the front one yet, or the back one even, because I need to get it set to the right place. That's fine there. If this goes down without cranking, it'll be fine, but no. I'm not surprised these two end ones didn't go down freehand anyway, because they were stuck on. I had to just get the nuts off in the vise before this video. For some reason when I took them out they just came right out the block. But they've got a bit of copper grease on them now, so hopefully that'll stop it. Right. Roughly a feel to this. I'm happy with that. Right. Yeah, happy with that. Once more. Yeah. 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 Right, I'm just going to double check something. That's spot on. I have heard some thicker gaskets are sometimes required for 600s, but that's spot on. Which I wouldn't expect anything else, because everything I've got from my parts guy has been spot on for the bits I've needed. In case any of you are wondering as well, if you're after anything Reliant related, I cannot recommend Castle Hill Garage enough. They have tons of Reliant expertise, and anything you need Reliant related, they can usually help you out. And the reason I say usually is the only bit that I've struggled to get from them is one that isn't being made yet. And I say yet because I believe they're hoping to make it in the future. But yeah. So that's the first bit done. The cylinder head's in place. That's the bolts for this, which we'll worry about later on. That's just to do with that, so I'm not going to worry too much about that yet. In fact, I'll slacken that nut off though. Just while we're here, because I hadn't fully finished the clutch. It's been adjusted up. And it's just needs locking in place. I'll just move this out of the way because I don't want to get it stuck at the end of its thread. Because to adjust this up, I screwed the adjustment nut right the way to the end. Oop. Grab it, there we go. Really doesn't like this thread, this adjustment one, which is strange because it was working fine when I put it on. So I can only imagine I've got either knocked the thread a bit and put a funny bit of shape into it, or it's just a stiff bolt. So I'll just adjust this up before we continue with the cylinder head. In case I wonder someday why the clutch is stopped and find out that it's actually lost this. Right, that's better, that's turning a lot easier now. There we go. That's adjusted up. Right, so now that that's on, we better get the bits for the cylinder head, because when I sent this away I took all the bits off of it. So they are residing in a box as well. So I've got that box to hand, and it's over in this corner. A little pink box. That's how I couldn't avoid it. So we'll head round to this side and we'll just dry fit all this, just so that we've got it in place. Now that obviously goes on there. That's the water valve. I think that needs, I'm not going to put that in because that actually needs some work to free it off. Then we've got two long studs. These belong in here. This is what holds your rocker cover on. Now, I'm doing this from memory, so I might get this wrong. So, these are the rocker cover studs as well. No, rocker shaft even, sorry. Rocker cover ones is the two ones were fitted. So these ones go into here. What's funny about these studs is I've got a UNF frayed at the top, which is where the nut goes, and the bit that goes into the block is actually UNC. But I guess that's a nice way of stopping you mixing it up back to front and all the rest. So that's that. Now just for I haven't greased one of those at all, which is totally against what I do with this, because I like to make sure there's grease on these things, because being a aluminium head, any of those bits is normal to corrode up and then problems. So we'll take those out again and we'll just grease them all up, because I'm not doing a half job of this. I want to do a proper job, because I prefer to not have to struggle in the future if I ever had to take bits off the cylinder head again, which I really hope I don't, because it'd be a shame to have to strip all the engine down again when it's very good condition. And let's be honest, if it's looked after and rebuilt properly, this engine's going to last years, because I mean all the rest of them have actually never been a problem when they've been rebuilt. The only engine I've never had in bits is my Red Robin Estate, and funnily enough it's a problematic pain in the backside, but it was the first one I ever restored, so I'm quite happy to put up with it. And at some point in the future it will get the rebuild it wants, although I don't think it's needing a full engine rebuild, because it doesn't knock, it doesn't rattle. I just think it's needing some slight tuning. Probably it's done the valves in it, I've done bits and pieces like that, so I think it's maybe just down to little bits needing adjusted, but I'll work it out. It won't take me too long to get around to it. There's only a few cars ahead of it and growing, but that's another thing altogether. So that's that once. Just put that two back out. I mean, this engine was in brilliant condition when we got it anyway, so it's nothing that's actually overly worrying me. I'll clean there's some dirt on that one. Because as you remember, I think, someone, might have been on Facebook, had a comment about the corrosion in the engine, but it was actually just surface rust kind of that went and grown over the engine with not running. But of course, since it was running, it then covered everything in a layer of oil, which has done it the world of good. But there's still obviously little bits of rubbish stuck to certain studs and that. But yeah, so that's that. Right, onto the side ones. Now unfortunately I'm not moving the camera, because it's not worth it for me doing little studs. But basically all the studs for the manifold are in this box as well. So I'll just do them one at a time. And we'll also put the valves, the push rods in for the valves, because they are sitting in a box over there, and I'll let you see how they've been numbered as well. I won't be fitting them up tonight, because before I can fit them I'm going to have to tighten all these studs up and get all the rest of it done. No, we can fit I think I've made a mess of what I said there, so I'll repeat what I was meaning. What we're going to do is we'll fit the push rods, because I can't fit the rocker assembly until I get the studs all tightened in. And that's going to take me a little while, because I'll have to go around with the stud extractor and make sure they're all tight. That one doesn't want to go in. I'll try it in a different one. Yep, try it in another one. Just thought this one's a strange one, because it doesn't want to go in place. Try it somewhere else. I think it's just a stubborn thread. I'll also put a thread cleaner down all these as well once it's in place. Just cleans up the thread. It means that when I'm building this bit, which you'll be watching anyway, you'll probably see me clean the threads in the next episode. But all it means is when I go to take them to bits, or no, when I go to do this again, by putting the nuts on even, they won't be a struggle to just glide on because the threads are all clean and it's so much easier. It's like I had a right struggle getting the, I think it was the carburetor off the 330 actually. Was it the, no, it was the super van, the trotter's van. It was a right struggle with it. And after I cleaned up the, I can't believe what just happened there. I just had a stud fall down the exhaust. Out of all the places it could have went, it went down an exhaust. It's finished and bolted on. I'm going to get the magnet and see if we can get that out. Now I can tell just now as well, there's 2 studs must have come out with the manifold, because I'm 2 studs short. So I'll have to do them at a later point. Find my magnet. We'll go magnet fishing for my. Oh, here it is. I was looking at it the first time. I totally didn't see it. I hope. Oh, no. Typical. Right. Oh, I got it. It's fished on the magnet. Right. Now I need to sort my magnet as well. Right, so that one onto there. Now we're only 1 stud short, so that's not too bad. But I'll have to go and sort all that in a second. And I also need to find 2 bits of my magnet, which has seen better days. So that's one of them. I'll have to find the other copper bit in a minute. So there's 1, and I don't know where 2 went to. Have a quick look. There we go, torch on. I don't think it's anywhere I can just see by just glancing at the moment. I'll look for it later. We'll just stick on that last stud actually and put the push rods in. If I can spot the stud before we end the video. Oh well, no, rockers. Rocker, no, that's a rocker assembly. In fact, some of that, we'll need those in a minute anyway. Found it, so it's in there. And this is the other bit we need. This flimsy bit of cardboard. So I'll come back over and let you see. So I've got 2 boxes. One of them's for the rocker bolts, and the other's the manifold bolts. But here we go. It's a bit of cardboard while the valve's hanging out to it. I'm not turning off my torch so you don't get that glare on the camera. So these are actually in the order that they came out the engine. So all you do with this is pick them up one at a time, and this is the order that they should be in. 1, 2, they're nicely fitting. 3, 4. Now on the bit of cardboard I have written on it gearbox and fan, because that means I know what's front and what's back. And the last one, like that, and that's them all in. It's actually taking shape, this little Regal. It's quite nice. Right, so I'll take this, and I've got the stud there, so I'll have to go and get that removed. So I'll do that after this video, because I'm not jumping back and forth again. The other thing I'm going to fit just now, just because it's here, is this rockers. The head's obviously been skimmed in the past. Now what that's done is it's made the head too low for the push rods to be doing their job properly. So there's little spacers was made originally. So what you need to do with these is just drop them on over those where the rocker assembly is going to be. And the last one, like so. And that's just ready for me to get the stud extractor on and do the opposite with, which is tighten everything up. And then it'll be on to get all these tightened up, and then you guys will come back and we'll put the manifold onto it, the exhaust and inlet. We'll put all that on, couple it up, get that finished, set the valves, which is very important, clearances for all that, and that'll be it, kind of ready to stick the rocker cover back on, and that's it. The engine is basically rebuilt, except from we'll still have the water pump to fit, the distributor and the fuel pump. So we'll have a few things to do, but I'm quite positive we're going to have this thing finished in the next few days, ready to go onto the chassis, well, back onto the body. So, oh, and the prop shaft, we need to get that done. That's going to be my job after I've got this. Well, I'm actually washed and just in messy workshop clothes, workshop stuff tonight. So I'll do that another night before I'm clean, because that's going to be messy way of brushing it. So yeah, that's another day's job. So I'll do that, and then we'll get everything put together. But anyway guys, I'm going to call it quits for tonight, because I've had enough really. I've done what I kind of wanted to do when I came out, which is brilliant. So I bet I'm going to get covered in oil doing this. That's that glove. Because these gloves haven't torn, I've actually used them probably most of the way through this rebuild. So that's two. We'll leave them there, ready for the next day's work. So, I hope you've enjoyed it, seeing this cylinder head get torqued back down and ready to continue. If you have, remember and hit the like button and drop a comment. I'm sure I've probably done it a different way to some old school ways it might have been of the time this was built. It still works thankfully, but yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember and give the channel a subscribe if you have. I have noticed, I was looking on, it's not often I look through them, the analytics of the channel. I hope I've said that word right. And believe it or not, over half of the people that watch the videos aren't subscribed. So remember and hit the subscribe button, because I really would like to be able to bring to you live reveals of new vehicles. And if we hit 1,000 subscribers, I can. And I will be able to speak to you and answer your questions there and then as the vehicle is unveiled here. And you guys will be the first to see it. So, remember and hit the subscribe button. That's what I'm saying. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to go and chill out, as it's actually Boxing Day. So just to let you make you aware, it's Christmas tomorrow. So I won't be doing anything to this tomorrow at all, probably. But anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'm away to chill out and probably watch some TV a while. Or edit this video. I think I've got one to edit as well that I haven't done yet, so we'll see. But anyway guys, we'll see you next time for more of this lovely Regal. And then we get to hopefully test drive it before the end of the holidays, which will be fun. Anyway, see you next time. I'm going to tidy up my book before I get it covered in oil prints as well.